Dear students, I am Bharat Kashyap, lecturer biology at GSSS Majhwad district Mandi. Today I am going to teach you second chapter of plus 1 biology. The name of chapter is biological classification and today's topic is systems of classification. Let us introduce the topic. Classification is process of grouping similar organisms into bigger groups called kingdoms on basis of easily observable characters, that is, the characters which can be observed or seen with naked eye. This process of classification is also called taxonomy. Man has an instinct to arrange living organisms according to his needs, maybe for food, shelter, clothing, etc. Classification always goes on changing with time as new informations about organisms are available. So first classification is Aristotle's classification. Aristotle was among the earliest who tried to classify living organisms on some scientific basis. He arranged the living organisms into two groups, plants and animals. Plants are classified on morphological characters, that is, external characters, into three groups. The tall trees, the bushes called shrubs, and soft plants called herbs. Similarly, animals are divided into two groups, animals with red blood and others without red blood. So this is the first classification, Aristotle's classification. Now switch over to next classification. Let us begin with two kingdom classification. This classification was given by Carolus Linnaeus. He was a Swedish naturalist, also named as father of taxonomy, because his classification remained accepted for a quite long time. He published a book, Systema Naturae, in 1758, in which he divided all living organisms into two kingdoms, kingdom Animalia and kingdom Plantae. His classification was based on nutrition and locomotion or mobility of organism. Kingdom Animalia. It includes all unicellular protozoans, multicellular animals which are holozoic, that is, they ingest food. Kingdom Plantae. It includes all organisms having autotrophic mode of nutrition. It includes bacteria, algae, plants and fungi. Now let's begin with three kingdom classification. It was given by Ernst Haeckel. He was from Germany and in 1866 he proposed three kingdom system of classification. His kingdoms were kingdom Animalia, Plantae and Protista. Kingdom Animalia contain all eukaryotic and heterotrophic organisms, that is, they depend on other organisms for food. Kingdom Plantae, it consists of eukaryotic and autotrophic organisms which make their own food themselves. A new kingdom Protista, it includes the protozoa, fungi, bacteria and other microorganisms. These are unicellular organisms. However, this system was not much accepted, and two kingdom system of classification still followed. Now, four kingdom classification. It was given by Copeland in 1956. He proposed four kingdoms. His kingdoms were Kingdom Monera, Protista, Plantae, and Animalia. He proposed a new kingdom, Monera, which include prokaryotic organisms like bacteria and blue-green algae. The Protists, Plantae, and Animalia kingdoms include the eukaryotic organisms. The fungi were placed in the kingdom Plantae. This was the main drawback of this classification system. With the passage of time, classification systems undergone several changes due to the improvement in our understanding of characteristics and also evolutionary relationships of organisms. Over the time, many attempts has been made to evolve a classification system which was based not only on morphological, physiological, and reproductive similarities, but it also include phylogenetic, that is, evolutionary relationships among different living organisms. So, we switch over to the five kingdom classification. It was given by Robert H. Whittaker. This classification was given by R. H. Whittaker in 1969. He proposed five kingdom classification. In this system of classification, R. H. Whittaker also used the knowledge of work done by previous biologists. It is most common way of grouping living organisms, which is based on simple distinct characters. Five major kingdoms are Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae, and Kingdom Animalia. This was the most accepted system of classification till now and also followed in our textbooks. Let us discuss the criteria for five kingdom classification as proposed by R. H. Whittaker. First criteria was complexity of cell structure. The cell may be prokaryotic, that is without well-defined nucleus, and eukaryotic with well-defined nucleus. Second criteria used was complexity of organism body or thallus. The organism may be unicellular or multicellular. Then mode of nutrition. For Plantae, it may be autotrophic, that is, they prepare their own food. For fungi, the nutrition is heterotrophic and saprobic. They take food by decay and decomposition of organisms and absorb the digested food. And for Animalia, it is heterotrophic and ingestion. They depend upon others and ingest the food into their body. Next criteria used was reproduction. It may be a sexual or sexual way of reproduction. Then phylogenetic relationships among organisms. It means the evolution from simple to complex, or prokaryotic to eukaryotic organisms, and unicellular to multicellular organisms. Let us discuss the various characters of each kingdom one by one. First of all, kingdom Monera. It is made up of prokaryotic cells. Cell wall is non-cellular, not made up of any cells but contain polysaccharide and amino acid. Nuclear membrane is absent. Body organization is cellular, that is made up of cells only. The mode of nutrition is autotrophic. It may be chemosynthetic and photosynthetic, whereas the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, which may be saprophytic or parasitic, is also found in some members of kingdom Monera. Then in kingdom Protista, the cell is eukaryotic. Cell wall is present in some protists. Nuclear membrane is present. Body organization is made of cells only. The mode of nutrition is autotrophic, that is, they prepare their food themselves and in presence of sunlight, hence by photosynthesis. And heterotrophic mode is also found in some protists. Then kingdom Fungi. The cells are eukaryotic. Cell wall is present, however it contains chitin and not made up of cellulose. Nuclear membrane is present. Body organization is multicellular and contain loose tissue, whereas heterotrophic mode of nutrition, it may be saprophytic or parasitic. Then kingdom Plantae. It include eukaryotic cells. Cell wall is present. It is made up of cellulose. Nuclear membrane is also present. Body organization include tissue and organs. And mode of nutrition is autotrophic. They prepare their food by photosynthesis in presence of sunlight. Whereas kingdom Animalia, the cells are eukaryotic, cell wall is absent, nuclear membrane is present, the body organization is advanced, that is, tissues form organs and organs form organ systems, and mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. It depends upon others for food. It may be holozoic, takes food into their body, or saprophytic, take food by decay and decomposition. So these are the different characters of all the 5 kingdoms. Now, another way how we can explain the 5 kingdoms. Look at the diagram. Kingdom Monera. This is kingdom Monera. The cell is prokaryotic, cellular, and the organisms are bacteria and cyanobacteria. Then kingdom Protista. It include eukaryotic, unicellular organisms and include protozoa, phytoplanktons and zooplanktons. Then kingdom Fungi. This is kingdom Fungi and it include eukaryotic multicellular organisms, for example yeast, mold, mushrooms. Then kingdom Plantae. These are eukaryotic, multicellular, photosynthetic and include all the plants. And last one, kingdom Animalia. They are eukaryotic, multicellular, and include all the animals. So with this we can understand the different organisms found in different kingdoms. Let us further understand the five kingdom classification. Look at the diagram. This arrow is showing the direction of evolution, and now this is the complexity of cell. Below this line there are present prokaryotes. It include kingdom Monera, and above this line are all eukaryotic organisms. Then complexity of organism. Below this line are present unicellular organisms. It include kingdom Protista, and above this line are complex multicellular organisms. Now here kingdom Fungi, these are decomposers, and mode of nutrition is heterotrophic, and they absorb food into their body. Then kingdom Plantae, this include producers. They are autotrophs, that is they prepare their own food by photosynthesis, that is in presence of sunlight. Similarly, here is the kingdom Animalia. They are all consumers and heterotrophic in nutrition and ingest the food into their body. So with this diagram we can understand all these kingdoms and their evolution properly. Now let us discuss some limitations in Carolus Linnaeus two-kingdom classification system. As cell wall was the only criteria used for classification of different organisms into the kingdom Plantae by Carolus Linnaeus. What happened? It brought together prokaryotes, that is bacteria and blue-green algae, with eukaryotes, that is fungi, gymnosperms and angiosperms, all in kingdom Plantae. Similarly, simple unicellular and complex multicellular organisms are also brought together. For example, Chlamydomonas, it is single-celled, whereas Spirogyra, multicellular. Both are placed in algae. Whereas fungi are heterotrophic but have chitinous cell walls, but placed with green plants which have cellulosic cell walls. Now there are some advantages of five kingdom classification. Let's discuss them. For classification, the criteria include not only the morphological, physiological and reproductive features, but it also include phylogenetic relationships, that is their evolutionary relationships. As fungi are placed in a separate kingdom Fungi. Prokaryotes, they are also placed in a new kingdom, kingdom Monera. Unicellular eukaryotes, they are kept in kingdom Protista, that is Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Paramecium and Amoeba. These are all included in Protista. With this we come to end of classification system topic. I do hope you must have understood it properly. We will discuss different classes and their characters in next video. Thanks for watching.